So today we're going to do everything. We're going to walk. This is the last day of the season, and I'm going to walk you through every step of the process and kind of show you what it's all about and how it all takes place, how we turn sap into syrup. We kind of invented this system ourselves, and these barrels are how we collect and harvest the syrup, the sap. And we have about 40 homeowners, individual participants, who either tap their trees with drip lines or use buckets. And if they have drip lines, we'll have 30 or 40 trees all going into one barrel. So a barrel, and really we kind of invented this system. Other producers use drip lines and then major main lines, and it comes straight into the sugar shack. But in our case, we use these barrels. But Woodland Hills is an ideal location for this because we're right up against the mountains. Most of our homeowners, most of our participants are at an elevation of 5,500 to 6,000 feet. We're at 6,000 feet right here. So that's where the trees are. They're fed by the canyons and by the water and nutrients coming out of the canyons. In fact, these trees, we call them big-tooth maples, and that's the Latin name, but they're really also known as canyon maples. So after we receive the sap, the first step is reverse osmosis, and that's a relatively new technology. It's only in the last 25 years or so that the sugar makers have had reverse osmosis as a way of reducing the sap and taking out a lot of the water. But the beauty of reverse osmosis is that it can very quickly and very efficiently, at a low cost, take out half to two-thirds of the water very quickly. But we can take it from 2.5% to 7% in a couple hours, and that's a wonderful, wonderful tool for us. And now we're at the evaporator. And the evaporator is really a nice holding tank for us. It's basically just a wood stove with a flat pan on top. And so we've got a good fire going in there. And I stoke that fire, try to keep it as hot as I can. Stoke that fire every 5 to 10 minutes. Puts the sap here, heats it up and evaporates off a lot of the water. The whole idea of this producing syrup is to take the sap, which is only about 2.5% sugar, and concentrate it and take out the water. So the evaporator is a great way to do that, and that's a very traditional way. Now they have steam-fired and other gas-fired evaporators, but this is a traditional wood-fired evaporator. And the reason we like that wood-fired evaporator is because for us, wood is free. And I have about 3 acres out there, and in storms and throughout the year, I'll lose 4 or 5, 6 trees a year. Well, once we've taken almost all of the water out of the syrup, we've taken the sap from 2.5% sugar to syrup stage, which is 67% sugar. And the final stage then is to filter it to take out some of the minerals. Now, these minerals are things like potassium and magnesium and zinc, and they're not harmful at all, but it's just that if we're selling these beautiful clear bottles, we want to have a clear, high quality syrup. So that's what we're doing here in the final stage. We filter it and then we bottle it. So here we are in the kitchen. This is just our home kitchen, but it had to be approved by the state of Utah as a commercial kitchen. We can't have any pets. We're wearing hairnets and gloves, and just like they would in a commercial food processing facility.
Fourth one.
So basically, we're the only people who really have the permit and process maple syrup in Utah. Okay, this syrup now is 160 degrees, and it's ready to be filtered and bottled. So that's the final step. Here we go. We have a filter, and this is probably similar to a coffee filter or just a light filter, but it's enough to take out most of the minerals. We hook a vacuum up here, a shop vac, and that vacuum creates a suction here, which then draws the syrup through more quickly. I'll just start pouring the syrup in here, and most of it flows through pretty quickly just by gravity. But as that filter starts to fill up and take in more of the minerals, then we'll have a little help from a vacuum. This is actually, every batch is different, but this batch is flowing through very, very quickly. So I just go ahead and pour the rest of it in and see what needs to be vacuumed.
Not.
Let's go ahead and turn on the vacuum.
No. Well, you want to, there's still some.
Yeah, go ahead and draw that off.
Now this.
And you can see that the filter has taken out a lot of the residue. Yeah. So first it goes through a single filter, and now we'll put it through a double filter, and then the final stage is an Orlon filter, which is pretty thick. I mean, like you'd have in a sweater or a jacket. It's designed to take out even the smallest particles that are not visible to the naked eye. So here we go. This is good, clean syrup. Not all syrup is created equal, and some of the Norway maple and some of the box elder is a little more difficult to filter.
Good.
That's, yeah, the vacuum just provides enough vacuum in there, enough help to make it go through the filter very quickly. The final stage of filtering takes it through an Orlon filter, which is, like I say, pretty thick and able to remove any last bit of sediment.
It's closed.
So I think the filtering is the most exacting part of the whole process.
We are transferring the finished syrup into a pot that is suitable and just the right height to transfer it from the pot into the bottles.
All the bottles have been sterilized, dried, and lined up like little soldiers in a baking dish. There happens to be 24 bottles in that batch, and I think that we'll probably get around 24 bottles of syrup.
So each bottle is hand poured. Some of the things that we do are to mitigate the sticky mess that comes naturally with syrup. So as we're putting it from the bottle, from the pot into the bottle, we try and put tinfoil and different things down so that we don't have too many drops. And then we move this as close as we can so that we don't lose any drops of our precious syrup. Our liquid gold is what we like to call it. We get another little pot, and each one is hand poured. After we are done After we have it right where we want it, then we take our sterilized bottle caps and tighten them on to where they are secure. And then we're going to lay them down over here. This seals them. Because the syrup is so hot, it's going to self-seal the cap. So after this, we'll clean them and we'll label them.
So this is the culmination, this is the grand finale of all of our work. And it starts back in October as we string up drip lines and then tap the trees in February and then spend all the time outside in the evaporation and reverse osmosis and boiling it down and cooking it and then finally having it in bottles. I love it. I think it's an exciting end result after all that work.